Okay, we're at the time. We did get, I think Yellowstone got settled here, and great, great. Thanks for taking the initiative.
Mountain Sky got settled.
Mountain Sky got settled. Okay, Yellowstone was up here already.
Mountains, Yellowstone and Rocky Mountain are Mountain Sky.
I gotcha. Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take your seats and get rolling again. We've been doing a lot of coach training in our area, and we've tied coaching to mindfulness or meditation. And it's really been, I think, a joy for some of the clergy and laity to get practicing again in a mindfulness attitude. So we'll start with an exercise today. And it'll be a good time because right after lunch, you want to calm yourself and get ready. So here's a simple one for you. Get comfortable. Put your feet squarely on the ground so that you have a very strong contact. If you can keep your back erect, it's more helpful. You can close your eyes if it helps you focus, but you don't have to. And I want to put one of your hands, either one, on your stomach area. Okay? Put it on your stomach area. And what we want to see you feel is when you're inhaling, the stomach area or your diaphragm will expand. So you know you're doing this right if you feel the lower portion of your diaphragm expanding. Otherwise, it's just a very surface level, all right, in the lung area. So let's begin. Now, what I would like you to do is to first take a exhale completely and try to really get all of the air out of your, so deep exhale through the nose or through the mouth, either one's fine. And now inhale slowly, smoothly, deeply, and you should feel your diaphragm area expanding. So keep inhaling if you can. And when it's natural, exhale. And once again, inhale so that your lower stomach area is expanding. We're going to add one more piece. After you inhale, hold the breath and count, let's say, 4 seconds. Then exhale. Okay, get in a rhythm. Feel your stomach expanding on the inhale. Hold the breath for 4 seconds and then exhale. Just one mantra. Just repeat to yourself once you've gotten into this rhythm. Calm mind, calm body, or if you want the reverse, active mind, active body. Whatever you think you need right now, you may use a simple mantra. Calm mind, active body, whichever one fits for you. Amen. So Especially at night, I've noticed that when my mind is racing at 3 a.m., it really does help to settle you. And after I've done a mindfulness exercise, I'm able to go back to sleep right away. So keep that in mind in the midst of your challenges that you all have. So we're going to go to, we have an election update. Brad, you want to go ahead and announce that?
Good day, everyone. I bring news from the North Central jurisdiction, where Bishop Dan Schwerin has been elected on the 6th ballot.
Okay, very good. All right. Yeah, new bishop. I think we're ready for another ballot. Yes, Jeffrey, number 2.
Bishop, members of the Jurisdictional Conference, my name is Jeffrey Guan, California-Nevada Conference. I stand here before you feeling very privileged to have been welcomed into the United Methodist Church. I feel very privileged to have been able to serve the church in so many different ways in all these years. And I feel very privileged to be part of this incredible Western Jurisdictional Conference. And it has been a deep honor to represent the Western jurisdiction in so many places where the church is lived out. I want to thank you for the opportunity, the privilege of walking alongside all our candidates for the episcopacy. And it is a process that we have intentionally entered as a discernment to allow for the Spirit of God to walk among us, but also to allow the body to discern with us candidates. And to my fellow candidates, I want you to know that it has been a deep, deep privilege to walk with all of you in the last few months. And I want to thank you for this journey. But I also know that in discerning deeply, that this is the time that I need to express my deep thanks to you and withdraw my name and allow the process to continue. Thank you very much.
Deep thanksgiving for all of you candidates, and we're grateful for your ministry, your gifts, and your graces. Thank you. All right, I think any other items from the body? I think we're ready for another ballot. We're going to put the totals again up for you so you can see those and review that.
They're going to need to update it and remove Jeffrey, so they're going to need a minute.
Oh, okay. We are going to need to update that by reflecting Reverend Dr. Kwan's name. Let them. Can't modify it. You got it. Okay. Is that okay? All right.
I'd like to confirm, is what I'm hearing from the GNTV team. What you see on the screen currently are last time's results, so they can inform your voting. But Dr. Kwan will not appear on the next ballot as an option.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that, Kwan. Okay, so here is the results from the last ballot. Number 7, I'm sorry.
We're about to take 7. Those are 6 results.
Oh, this was 6, okay. All right, everybody good? Some of you still taking photos? All right, now we'll put up the candidates. Okay.
That is the thing. If you'll open the ballot, they'll go.
All right, so this is number 7. Vote for 3. We are now opening up the ballot. Please vote now. All set? Anyone need more time? All right, we'll close this ballot and await our results. Ballot number 7. So we are going to have resolution, legislation piece. This is item WJ 2203. And we would invite Kristen Stoneking to come forth to share this with us. Kristen?
Good afternoon, Bishop Higia and bishops. Good afternoon, Western Jurisdiction. My name is Kristen Stoneking, and I am one of the original conveners of queer delegates across the connection. And so I have to be transparent. I was not one of the writers of this legislation, but I was one of the reviewers. And hopefully you've had a chance to read the legislation. It encourages us to continue in holding in abeyance and not pursuing any charges against persons who are holding LGBTQIA plus identity or any persons performing same-sex marriages, as well as centering the voices of LGBTQIA persons and continuing to push for empowerment of us. I also have to be transparent. As you read this legislation, hopefully, it sets a low bar. And that was my response, that we in the West have already surpassed the bar that this legislation sets. So I want to name that and claim that and celebrate it. And the request from the coalition of queer delegates was that we would have the same piece of legislation in all of our jurisdictions as a sign of solidarity with each other. And so that's why this particular legislation is here. For other jurisdictions, it's almost aspirational, or it really represents movement. For us, we're beyond this, and that is awesome. The group has also asked that as we engage this, that we hear queer voices first. And so I want to also ask that and invite my siblings, as we engage this, to speak first. And the group has also asked that we consider no amendments, as this was crafted in solidarity across the jurisdictions. I want to say that I personally would love amendments to make it go even farther, because I think we could. But I want to put out there that the request was that it be consistent across the jurisdictions. So, Bishop Higia, it is before you.
Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate it. We will hear from, first, remember the request. Anyone would like to speak to this?
We also need a second.
We do need a second first. Okay, very good. Go ahead, Austin. Number 1.
Thank you. Austin Atkinson, clergy reserve delegate from the Pacific Northwest Annual Conference. I'd like to celebrate at this point and echo what Kristen was saying, that this is movement about what's happening across the connection. This legislation is before every single U.S. jurisdiction that is meeting this week, and that is representative of a groundswell of work that has been happening over the last 6 or so years, and the work that we have been doing here for much longer, and the work that's actually been happening all across the connection for a long, long time, but the voices haven't been heard in the same ways that they are being heard now. The delegations that were elected after what happened in St. Louis are a reflection and a reaction to that, and we're seeing that in the types of Episcopal candidates that are already being lifted up in other jurisdictions ahead of us, celebrating some major firsts and some big steps in other places as well. And so in celebration of what is happening and how the Spirit is moving across our connection and leading us into the future, I urge us to support this as it is, to celebrate the voices of the queer folks that have sat down together and had an opportunity to know each other in order to be able to work together collaboratively in this way and come in a way with hopes that it can pass in places like the Southeastern jurisdiction. It has already passed in the South Central jurisdiction and in the Northeastern jurisdiction. We have a long way to go. As some folks on the stage have said previously, the Spirit tends to move in the U.S. from the west towards the east in a lot of ways, and we have already, so I would say this as, this is giving credit to some of the work that we've already done. If we want to, at another point, lift up other legislation that does bring us further, that would be wonderful. But let's celebrate what is happening right now and the new leadership that is emerging and the people that are following our lead in some ways and hopefully leading us in new ways. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else who would like to speak? No? Okay.
Thanks, Brad.
Go ahead, Kristen. Would you like to?
What do I need to do now?
Last word?
Oh, my last word. I hope you'll support it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kristen. Now we can't vote until we have the results of the last ballot given to you. So we'll take this up as soon as we finish the ballot results. Yes. Question number 3.
Sorry, I'm eating right now.
It's okay. Is it good?
It's very good. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Thanks to the, thank you. I don't know where I am right now. It's okay. Michael Hsu, lay delegate, California, Nevada. Can I just propose that we all vote by hand?
You surely can.
Motion?
Okay, sure. And that would allow us to have the continuity. Does the body feel okay? If you would feel okay by voting by hand on this, yes, I think we've got consensus. If you would support this resolution, please raise your hand. It's very clear. All right, thank you. If you oppose that, raise your hand. Unanimous in the hand vote. All right. We have joined the rest of the country. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we'll have the results at this point. Ballot number 7, total ballots cast 96, valid ballots 96, no invalid ballots. Number needed to elect 65. There is no election. Here are totals. Cedric Bridgeforth, 41, 42.7%. Dottie Escobedo Frank, 41, 42.71. Carla Rapinoe, 36, 37.5. Sandra Owine, 34, 35.4. Kimberly Montenegro, 29, 30.2. Jessica Rooks, 24, 25%. Anthony Tang, 23, 23.96. Joe Kim, 17, 17.7. Tom Choi, 12, 12.5. Calvin Hill, 7, 7.5. Stacy Kern, 7, 7.5. Mark Calhoun, 4, 4.17. Pula Alalima, 3, 3.13. Okay, those are the results for you. Go ahead and take pictures if you need it. We'll let this settle a little bit. And then ask the body what your next step you would prefer to do. Does anybody have a suggestion of what you would want to do? You have options of taking another ballot, or you have options to caucus, to meet with your groups. Anybody wish to? Yes, number 3.
Mona Lisa Tuitahi, lay delegate from CalPAC. I'm asking, I stand to ask for time for delegation time, and I'm asking for an hour and a half, not an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes.
1 hour and 15 minutes, all right? All right. Everybody, let's do this by hand. Oh, yes, number 4.
I would like to do a vote before we caucus, if possible.
Okay, all right. We have 2 options.
Amy Go from Mountain Sky.
All right. So we have 2 options before us officially. One is to take a break with the caucus for 1 hour and 15 minutes. The second one is to take a vote now. So let's just choose one or the other. And let's try hand for now. If you would like to break into the groups, raise your hand now. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, thank you. If you would like to take one more ballot, raise your hand. I think that's clear. You would like to take another ballot. All right, very good. So again, you have the result. Let's put the results up one more time so that you could see this and prepare.
You're going to format it and get it up in just a second.
Okay. And they're going to format, here we go. There we go. Discernment prayer, who's next? Warner. They're all ready to go. All right, now let's put up the available candidates. And Bishop Brown will say a discernment prayer for us.
Let us be in prayer. We are here, O Lord, for you. We listen for the movement of your Spirit and your call for us to answer. Nurture us in understanding. Calm our hearts that we hear you whisper to us. Let leaders emerge from amidst your people that you have called. And let all other passions within us be stilled. And our answer to you be yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bishop Brown.
We're good.
They're good? Okay. All right. We are now entering ballot number 8. Please vote now. If you have any kind of tech issues, raise your hand. Anyone need, oh, we have a tech issue here and over here. 2. Just loading. Okay. Same with you. Okay, we're going to give it a little time. Some of the devices are still loading it. When you watch it, always go slower. Our tech, David's here to help. Maybe try again. Good. All right. We're going to close this ballot and allow the results to be tabulated. Brad and I were just talking. You guys are doing this marvelously well. We've hadn't had any invalid ballots for a while. You're seamlessly working with your devices, and just want you to know how smooth it's going. So, all right. Do we have any other issues, Linda, that we can work on?
We could begin to work on.
Yeah, okay. What we could do is go to item number 2, which is the rejection of the protocol for reconciliation and grace through separation. And who is speaking to that? Jason Takagi is going to speak to that.
Jason Takagi, lay delegate for the California Pacific Annual Conference. This came because the purpose of the protocol was to provide a time-limited and graceful way for the United Methodist Church to amicably separate. We are already seeing that the pandemic caused a delay of the General Conference, and in the meantime, the Global Methodist Church already launched this past May without benefit of the protocol. The process of disaffiliation has already started, and that this protocol is, the time for this protocol has passed.
Is there a second? All right. It is now on the floor. Any discussion that you'd like to have? Anyone like to speak to this? Doesn't look like it. Sounds like, Jason, you did a very convincing argument. Anything you'd like to say other than that, Jason?
No, thank you.
Okay, all right. Once again, we're going to do a hand vote on this. I think it'd be easier. The body seems to be ready. If you would support this resolution, please raise your hand. Very clear. Thank you. Anybody opposed? Same sign. Raise your hand. It is clearly unanimous by hand vote. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I have to figure out Jason's magic on those kind of resolutions to convince everybody. All right. Anything else, Linda? Okay. We are ready. Ballot number 8, total ballots cast 97, valid ballots 97, needed to elect 65. We have no election. Carlo Rapinoe, 45, 46.39. Cedric Bridgeforth, 39, 40.21. Dottie Escobedo Frank, 39, 40.21. Sandra Owine, 32, 32.99. Kimberly Montenegro, 30, 30.93. Anthony Tang, 21, 21.65. Jessica Rooks, 21, 21.65. Joe Kim, 18, 18.56. Tom Choi, 14, 14.43. Calvin Hill, 11, 11.34. Stacy Curran, 8, 8.25. Mark Calhoun, 4, 4.12. And Pula Alalima, 2, 2.06. All righty. Again, the body has to determine what you wish to do. We originally had a recommendation, but it's wiped clean because of the decision you want to take another ballot. Anybody like to propose our next step? Can you put it up again? Sure, of course we can. Let's put that up again so everybody can make their decision. Jason, number 2.
Oh,
Or number 3, I'm sorry.
Jason Takagi, a lay delegate from CalPAC. We would like to break for an hour and 15 minutes for the delegation to meet.
Okay, all right. Recommendation is for an hour and 15 minutes. Any other suggestions? Looks like the body is ready for that. Okay. Jasper, no? Okay. Okay. All right. If you would approve a 1 hour and 15 minute break for discernment and working with your annual conferences, please raise your hand. Okay. All those opposed, same sign. Okay. It's okay, Chris. We support you, Kristen. All right. We will break now. 3:25. You're free to go into your groups and caucus with each other.
Folks, as you gather back in the space, I want to take a moment and thank David King for the incredible music and worship that have been offered thus far. I believe in a moment, and I think the tech team's working to help us out with a couple things, David wrote a song for us to use as a part of our time here, and we haven't had a chance to learn it yet. So once that's ready, know that in a moment you're going to be asked to join in singing as we learn that song together.
All right, thank you. So this song is based on some of the jurisdiction's language about who it is we are and what it is we are meant to do. So I'll go ahead and just sing it through for you once. A home for all God's people, where each can find their welcome, gathered around Christ's table, where we share wine and bread. The reconciling Spirit, she heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. This is where love lives. This is where love lives. So I'm going to sing this out to you. I'm going to line it out to you, and if you'll repeat each line after me. A home for all God's people. A home for all God's people, where each can find their welcome, where each can find their welcome, gathered around Christ's table, gathered around Christ's table, where we share wine and bread, where we share wine and bread. The reconciling Spirit, the reconciling Spirit, she heals, transforms, forgives. She heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. This is where love lives. 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 All right, let's try it all together. A home for all God's people, where each can find their welcome, gathered around Christ's table, where we share wine and bread. The reconciling Spirit, she heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen
David, we're so grateful for the music and the chance to share in it together. Very much appreciated. So we had a little bit of conversation about where love lives earlier, but you were at your own tables. And we have a moment now where what we'd like to do is invite, as we talk about where love lives, one of the most amazing parts of these moments for me is to be with all of you and for all of us to be together and to encounter folks and stories and ministry settings that maybe we don't bump into every day. And so we're going to invite folks, especially at the delegation tables, if you'll hop between tables, observers, please take a moment and find some folks you may not have chatted with yet. But we want to return to this question, but we want to ask about where you are in ministry, how God is working through you in your place and moment. Where do you see love becoming real in the places where you serve? And we'll take a few moments at tables to sort of engage and share those stories so that we might hopefully take some things home with us. Let's share in that now.
Let's sing again. A home for all God's people, where each can find their welcome, gathered around Christ's table, where we share wine and bread. The reconciling Spirit, she heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. This is where love lives. This is where love lives.
You know, one of the powerful lines in David's work that, of course, comes from our own jurisdictional language, but I love this. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. So our next conversation, and again, I do invite you to do some table hopping, okay? I want you to meet some new people. The question is this, and there's two ways to look at it. Number one, what is something that was bound you are now seeing new life in? Or, conversely, what is something that is bound you are still waiting for new life to appear? We invite you to share in some conversation together.
El pueblo de Dios Santo, en la mesa de Cristo, juntamos con el pan. El Espíritu conciliador nos transforma. Lo que estaba atado ha resucitado. Donde vive amor, amor vive aquí. Will you sing with me one more time that verse in English? A home for all God's people, where each can find their welcome, gathered around Christ's table, where we share wine and bread. The reconciling Spirit, she heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. This is where love lives. This is where love lives.
I thank you for the continued conversation as we reflect on, I guess we're kind of doing Lectio Divina with your song here, David, and thank you for that. A home for all God's people where each can find their welcome. I want to invite you to think for a moment about a time, maybe it was the first time, maybe it was a recent or meaningful time. What is a specific time you truly felt welcome? If you take a moment in those conversations, where is a time you truly experienced welcome? Let's chat.
reconciling spirit. She heals, transforms, forgives. What once was bound now stands arisen from the dead. This is where love lives. This is where love lives.
Okay, we're at a very critical time in our work, and I know it's very important for us to continue doing what you've been doing, but there's a point of junction at this point where the first electeds in the college is going to suggest and share with you a process, but they need about 30 minutes to get this together. It's critical for us at this juncture of where we find ourselves in. And I think Gil Rendo, many of you know, has an adage that when things are urgent, you need to slow down. When there's not enough time, you need to slow down and work the process. So we're going to give you a half an hour break right now, a recess for a half an hour, then come back, and our first electeds and college will share some important information and processing with you. All right? Everybody got it?
So that means we will see you at 4:30.
4:30. Don't let them leave. All right. We have one quick announcement.
Please take all of your belongings with you, because then we can set the tables for dinner so that just please take all your belongings with you so we can reset the tables for dinner, even though we will come back and do a little bit of business. And we won't have to do it around you when it's dinner time, and that will help facilitate all of us getting our dinner sooner so that we can all get to worship on time.
Okay. Karen, they could go back to their seats, though.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
very good.
But if you're leaving the room, take your things with you so that we can get the tables prepared for dinner.
Number one, Anthony?
Anthony Tang, Desert Southwest Conference, Bishop, and Karen.
Karen?
May we leave our things on our chairs, or we need to completely remove everything?
Good question.
Lisa, I think things on your chair would be just fine. Just make sure they're sitting there so when we try and put a tablecloth on, they're not in the way.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We're going to go slow, but we'll be efficient.
All righty. Yeah, David, thank you. If we could have our delegates take their seats. We've had a confidential matter come up for the whole body, and the college is going to declare an executive session. And let me explain what that means. The executive session would only be the elected delegates, the reserves, and the officers of the conference itself. We will stop the live streaming. We want to make sure that you all understand you're all on recess if you're not in that body. We're thinking of about 45 minutes to an hour, which would give you enough time to, get out and about if you need to or whatever. But we have to have this in a confidential session for the key elements of the conference itself. So we will clear the room. We want to verify with all of the delegates that this is something as important enough that you would ratify this in executive session. So we will bring this motion that we will be in executive session for 1 hour. If you would approve that, would you raise your hand? Thank you. Any opposed? Same sign. Okay. So we'll now have this transition period. Delegates will stay seated. And if we can ask all of our observers and anybody who is not an official delegate to leave this particular space, then we will transition.